Frank Skinner.
Radio.
Hello and welcome to Not the Weekend podcast. Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio, Gareth, Emily, they're the basic ingredients, I would say, summed up in a...
Yes.
In a...
Got some Gareth
list.
Lightly grated over the show today.
some...
Grated because an ingredient, you said.
Oh, yeah.
Ingredient, so I was sort of...
Yeah.
I'm more of a garnish.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm more of an Alf garnish. Sorry, I'm still slightly traumatised.
Why?
I saw Emma, the producer's tattoo, just before we started, and you know, we don't have that kind of relationship. It's the small of the back, but even so, there's something intimate about it.
I didn't know she had a tramp stamp. She didn't seem the type.
Is that what they call? Oh.
Very much so.
Well, she claimed. I said, oh, Emma, I saw your tattoo. I felt I had to tell her, otherwise it becomes
Do you know
a
what?
peeping Tomery.
Frank, now, that was in her Scrafton days. That's her maiden name.
Oh, okay.
And she was a bit more tramp stamp Scrafton. Now she's Newman.
Yeah.
She's changed.
I'd have had it removed, or you could put a plaster up. It's not big.
What does it say? Please turn over in Chinese. Is that what it is?
Well, it must have been there a while. It says Cleopatra coming at you.
On the wrong horse there.
We had another special moment.
Is it for Elizabeth Hurley? No, Elizabeth. No,
You got the wrong Elizabeth.
got the wrong Elizabeth.
Oh, well. We can always do it in the... Oh, it's live, you say?
Oh, well.
That explains a lot.
Elizabeth, I mean, that's the nature of celebrity. I can't even remember her second name now.
Oh, God, she's only been dead a week.
Yeah.
Taylor is what you're grasping for.
Yeah.
I will tailor and see if I can see the rest of the tattoo, because I didn't get a proper look at it.
I'm loving it.
Oh, he's on fire.
It is. I mean, don't peak too early. We've got a whole journey to go on here together. I'm quite excited about it. Though I am quite confident. 'Cause just before we came on air, I was talking about Margie Clark's Edinburgh show, Edinburgh show of a few years back, when I was astonished at her confidence when she said halfway through the show, right then, what's your any favourite quotes from Letter to Brezhnev? And I thought, oh my God, there'll be none. There was none. But then I said it in here as an example of of error in the public domain, and then Emily knew one.
Knew one. I know all of them. Tell Igor I love him. That's the last line of the film.
I'm so happy you know that.
I know her loads. I love that film. Don't you love Letter to Brezhnev?
We cover the spectrum here because I have no idea what either of you are talking about.
Do you know who
but
Margie
that adds
Clark
to them.
is?
No.
Have you not heard
I
of a
might do
film
if
called
I
Letter
saw
to
it.
Brezhnev?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Or a letter.
Margie Clark.
Have you heard of Brezhnev?
No,
She
not
was
even-
sort of Lily Savage
You don't know who
before Lily
Brezhnev
Savage.
is?
100%.
He doesn't know who Brezhnev is.
You've got to know who
Is she a
Brezhnev
ballet
is.
dancer?
No, he was a Russian president.
Yeah, near enough, though. It's going to be
youth.
president, ballet dancer, or chess player.
Or spy/spy.
Yeah, they seem to be dying out, the whole Russian spy thing. I was, what about this for cheek? I was walking through Covent Garden in London, a large conurbation, southeast of England, and a lady's tried to put, they're trying to put the Lucky Heather in you, get you by the Lucky Heather. She tried to put it in my lapel.
Oh, did she?
And I said, no thanks. And she said, I know you. She said, how come you're not on telly anymore?
Did you say you are? You're on Channel 4 at the
well,
moment.
now they're on, of course. They're swanning it around. I'm sorry I don't get your ratings, but am I selling Heather? I think not. Oh, have we had any contact from the outside world?
We had a very interesting pedestrian racing.
Well, let's not set it up as very interesting. So when people say, "Oh, something really funny happened to me," I always say, "Well, you tell it, and I'll be the judge of that."
It is entitled Intermodal Pedestrian Racing.
Oh God, I like it.
I like it already.
Yeah, how can it go wrong from there?
It's from Sam Haslam. Dear Frank, Emily and Gareth.
You're 16?
Yeah, 16. I was walking my dog the other day. I happened to catch the desperate eye of a man sitting gloomily in his car. Good adjectives.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it. I'm gripped.
Stuck in the rush hour traffic. I thought nothing of it and continued to stroll in the sun, only to look across again a minute later to see the same man level with me. Not one to refuse a challenge of any kind, I picked up the pace and he began to crawl alongside me, almost crashing into the car in front through eagerness to win. Obviously, I saw him off in the end, but I was wondering if it counts as a victory, what with him not actually being a pedestrian. I thought I'd throw it over to the experts to see what they thought.
Well, I like
intermodal.
I like the intermodal element.
Well, Frank,
He wasn't just curb crawling.
Oh, 16?
No, not him. Not in the car.
Well, I don't think so,
Okay.
no. Not in the way I understand curb crawling.
Well, let's
Yeah,
not
man with
ask.
a dog.
Let's not go there. Frank, what do you think? I like
If
to
I
think
was
of you
going
as
to
the
go
expert.
curb crawling, I'd like to think I'd use a Segway. Wouldn't that be marvellous?
And just ask them to follow? Because you can really
No,
pick
I'd
them
do.
up, could you?
I'd be on the Segway.
Piggyback.
No, just, I think the phrase we used to use was a knee trembler on the Segway as you went
Oh,
home.
I see.
Then we could go around the block a couple of times and drop them off.
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway. So,
Past a certain age, your knees are just permanently trembling. Anyway.
well, they are, yeah. Certainly if I was going to take on a Segway journey. I've never been on a Segway, but I did. I recently filmed at Salford Media Centre, which is the new BBC building. And I was talking. My dressing room was a 3-minute walk from the studio. Can you imagine that? A 3-minute walk down
You're
corridor.
sounding like J-Lo now. Can you imagine that? A 3-minute
Oh,
walk.
but it's a long time from a dressing room to a studio. And the assistant floor manager said that she said, "Yeah, well, I was offered a Segway earlier." That's what they call it.
Speaking of the hotel, I thought of you, Frank, because the hotel I stayed in, they were...
I should say Gareth was the warm-up man, so he was
that's
with me.
true.
We were,
Yeah.
we were
Did
all
I,
in
did I get any
Manchester.
work off it? Nothing.
Sorry.
No.
You're
You
in
could
Morocco.
perhaps you could. We could get a tok-tok for you to take me from my dressing room to the
Oh,
studio.
I want one of those, Frank, a pink one.
I heard you were going to have a tok-tok. So,
Staying in the same hotel, I think they were the dancers from... They were all wearing Kylie.
Kylie Minogue was
Yeah.
at your hotel.
Really?
I was in the cheap hotel next to the studio. Gareth was in the Lowry, which is the poshest
That's
hotel
really...
in
I've
Manchester.
stayed there,
I
even.
thought I heard scuttling. I thought it was
Yeah.
mice.
I think there was a mix-up in the
Yeah, you
ticket.
ended up in the Lowry.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I know.
Did you enjoy it?
Well, it was a bit... like we talked about tipping in the show on Saturday, but I was like, there was a man, and he took my bag off me as I got out the taxi.
Yes, that's what they
Thought I was
do
being
in
robbed.
hotels, darling.
That's what they do in Manchester. They did that when I got off at the railway station. I never saw that bag again.
So I made the decision not to tip
Did you?
anyone.
Oh, that was nice of you.
Fair.
Yeah. You need to tip in a
what-
nice,
really?
reasonable standard hotel, babe. You have to
What am I
tip.
supposed to give? He just took it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
How much am I supposed to give that man?
About a fiver.
No, you wouldn't give a fiver.
Well, I had to in Morocco. My standards have raised. It's £11
If
tip
a man
tax.
took my cat, if I gave a man in a hotel a fiver, I'd want at least a memorable sexual experience. If I just gave one,
Well,
for-
yeah, it's taken as read. I get that as well.
Okay, where's my Segway? Come on, off we go. No, but
Can't afford
no, you wouldn't give a fiver.
I do.
to give them Ethan.
I'm not rich either. I'm not.
No,
I'm not
I know.
rich.
I-
But I think you'll get well
You were
looked after.
pretending to be rich.
Yes, I'm pretending. Yeah.
Occasionally, I've got overexcited and I've tipped heavily, and afterwards, I've had a terrible, empty feeling of regret.
Oh,
Really?
Frank.
If I'm in a black cab, I watch the meter and I always think, please let this not be one of those journeys that's like 7.20. So I think, oh, can I give him 8, or is he going to think 80p? But do I have to go 180, or do I have to be fishing around for change?
If the taxi's too much, no tip. They went very slowly in Manchester.
Did they?
Driving around all over the place, think I don't know where I am. No tip for them.
Justify your meanness with a conspiracy theory. Always works that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But there were dancers there.
Yeah, I didn't
All-
tip them because of the people on the grassy knoll. Dancers. Kylie Minogue was at your hotel. That is a fact.
And at breakfast, lots of dancers, and all wearing hooded tops. All of them.
Frank, you'd have fitted in.
Yeah,
Would
exactly.
you have cracked out the khaki Franciscan?
With hoods
For a
up.
fiver, yes. But then he'd have had to have gone home. I mean, I'm not doing bed and board.
Yeah, and with hoods up at breakfast. Hoods up.
Hoods up at breakfast?
Yeah.
What?
Must
Are you
have
sure
been chilly.
those weren't tea cozies you saw from across the dining room? Hoods up at breakfast?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, anyway, I like the intermodal.
Yeah.
It's a very rare opportunity. I I'm a bit of a traffic jam enthusiast. I was once in a traffic jam in France, and a man just sat with his hand going on the horn for like 10 minutes, and he knew no one could move. And pretty soon, after the first couple of minutes, loads of people joined in, and in the end, I joined in. We just had like a big horn chorus, and we weren't.
I love a horn chorus.
Is the verb bipping? That's what I always say. I bit my horn. Have I made that up?
Yes, it's beep.
Oh, I always say I bipped my horn.
Oh, that's something very different.
So we bipped, and it was like we were bipping at the universe, not at the traffic. You know, it was every frustration in life.
Almost quite joyous as well.
It is. I wish I'd have had but I'd have had to have been in an old Model T.
Well, you'd have needed Ronnie Wood nearby.
Yeah.
He makes a noise not dissimilar,
Ronnie
sort of
Wood,
crow-like noise.
Oh, the crow, man. Incidentally, I was I don't read stuff about me in the papers. My girlfriend was saying that she read a thing about me where I was described as looking like a posh scarecrow.
Really?
So me and Ronnie Wood would be like, the crow, man.
Yes.
All I need is my little Aunt Tally. You like that, Aunt Tally? That's all I need. It's not all I need.
No.
I'm hoping to get some more Pez dispenser offers in from they've dried up a bit. I'm looking for novelty heads. On the,
Ben Jones was sniffing around our Pez dispensers.
Was he? Oh. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if I could get a Ben Jones Pez dispenser. You could have the Ben Jones head, and then also the baseball hat could
Yes,
lift up.
that would be the
And
mechanism.
You could have the cyanide in the top, just in case you're kidnapped.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Speaking of memorabilia,
Oh,
which
that is
Pez
a
is
segue.
a sort of
That was a
memorabilia.
segue. All the segues on this show.
I got my hair cut the other week, and
Oh, yeah, I noticed.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Okay.
the hairdresser was a fan of the show, or of Absolute Radio, definitely.
Well, come on, let's get it right.
Well, I said to him, he said, "Oh, what have you done this morning?" And I said, "Oh, I do a radio show." And he go, "Oh, I listen to Absolute Radio." And I go, "Well, it was on that." And he go, "All right, what show do you do?" And I said, "Frank Skinner show." And he said, "Oh, yeah, I listen to that." And he goes, "Oh, what do you do on it?" And I said, "Well, I'm Gareth." And he went, "Oh."
Oh, he didn't know you were.
That was all.
Yeah, but that just meant he probably doesn't have a memory for names.
No sidekick retention. But
I don't think of you as a sidekick. I think of you as a co-host.
oh, it's nice of you.
Yeah. I don't think of
Co-presenter
you
in there,
generally
listed
that often.
in no.
No, but when I do, I think a sidekick, I think. When they used to say that about Bruce Lee when he was Kato in the Green Hornet TV series, and I thought he was more than that.
Well, it's funny because Boyd Hilton of Heat magazine said to me only this week at the BAFTA jury judging, would you?
Whoa, it was a salvo.
He said,
Yeah.
he introduced me as a sidekick, as Frank's sidekick. He said, "You don't mind being called a sidekick?" I said, "I love it." That was my response. I was very happy to be a sidekick.
And did you introduce Boyd Hilton as Donald Pleasance's stunt double?
No.
Well, I think you should have.
Sorry, Gar. As
Anyway,
you were. Talk about the
Gareth's-
silly old BAFTA jury later.
Yeah,
Are you
when we
trying
could be
to
hearing
destroy
about
my
Gareth's
story of the hairdressers?
Bournemouth haircut. Was it in Bournemouth or did you travel
No,
to
it
London
was in
for a haircut?
Camden.
Oh.
It's in a trendy Camden barbers.
Okay. I
I
don't
won't
remember
name
there
it.
being a power cut in Camden over the last couple of weeks.
What do you mean?
It looks like it was cut in darkness.
What's the bit at the front down
Don't
here?
know,
I
Don't
haven't
ask-
put any product on it.
Don't ask about the
Don't
bit at the
ask
front.
about the
I
Have
bit.
you
told
seen
them.
the bit at the front?
This week you brought up Mayo's Moles on the Mayo's Mole sounds like a kid's TV series from the 1970s. You brought up Mayo's Moles and now it's Garrett's front bit. Oh, Garrett's put a newspaper on his head. You've made him self-conscious in the extreme.
I
Well, I'm self-conscious. Look how great I look. It's quite a good thing to be self-conscious. Get your act together.
So I was talking to the hairdresser, and he said, I said, making conversation.
Yeah.
Eh?
Oh, did you use the Bermuda Triangle?
No, I didn't do that. I said, so what sort of music are you into? And he said he likes Liam Gallagher's new album.
BDI?
Yeah, BDI. And as I said, I like Blur. And then...
Is he a tambourine enthusiast?
I didn't see a tambourine around. He is a very good friend of Graham Coxon,
Oh.
apparently.
Well,
He's-
you're a massive Blur fan.
Yeah.
That must have been. He probably used the same scissors.
Yeah, no, he had pictures of him with Graham at the Hyde Park gig.
Oh, you had the frame, the old bar,
On the wall,
framed
on the
photo.
wall.
Oh, you see, I like a black and white ex-British heavyweight. If it's going to be a black and white signed picture.
He had pictures on his phone of Graham.
Can I say there was a barber's in Belsize Village in Birmingham where they had pictures in the window, and one of them was Yarny. I don't know if you know Yarny. He used to play like cosmic, the sort of music you get.
Oh, yes, the Greek singer who's married to Linda Evans.
I think he was,
Yes.
yeah. The sort of bloke you'd get aromatherapy with him in the background.
Yes.
Not with him in the background, with his music in the background. I certainly wouldn't have got aroma. He's not a man I'd want to be in a room with just a towel over me. But he always wore white, and he had
Yes.
very long, I mean, longer than Emily's hair. And he was
A man.
a man who never gets his hair cut. Bizarre. You're listening, Yarny.
And you wouldn't imagine he'd go to a barber's either, somewhere posher. You would
No.
have thought. But he said he showed me pictures of Graham on his phone, actually getting his hair cut,
Oh, God.
and also
Sounds a bit intrusive.
and also asleep, like
Asleep?
in a
Just have him
drunk,
asleep?
like drunk in the hairdresser's.
That...
I
Must have
don't
been
think I
from a
don't
while
like that
ago.
barber.
No, that's Valium ground up in the coffee. Have a coffee, Graham.
He sounds a bit misery, that
Get the
barber.
camcorder. Oh, okay. So that
So
must
he
have
had,
been
he had-
exciting.
He had a lot of evidence.
I mean, if I went to a barber's and he said I cut Mark E. Smith's hair, I mean, I wouldn't let him cut my hair, but I'd be thrilled that I'd been in the same shop.
No, it was really good. And I said I've spent my whole life trying to get my hair to look like I'm in Blur.
Oh,
And
okay. So
to
is that with the
finally-
look that you were going
That is
for?
what I'm after.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then he said, if you want, you can write your name on a bit of paper, and next time Graham's in, I'll get him to write you a note.
Okay.
And I said, no, I'm
Write your
okay.
name on a bit of paper.
Is he a milkman? Right, okay. A note of
Like
what
I
kind?
suppose an autograph and
Not
you
maybe
could
hair advice, how to get him.
personalise it.
Will that be? Would you like that?
Oh no, that put me under all sorts of pressure. Then I didn't want to. Well, I'd have to go back there. I'd have to. Not that I don't.
Well, the
Want
good thing is at least you get another haircut.
Yeah. But it'd be more of the same.
be a
that's
good
what I mean.
thing?
Okay, so what did you do then? You said no.
I said, yeah. I just said, no, it's all right.
Oh.
And then he said, are you sure you don't want that bit of paper? You can, write. I've got paper here. You can write your name on it if you want. And I was,
I am a bit surprised because you are.
Really not-
I mean, I don't think it would be an overstatement to say that you're a Blur enthusiast. I thought you'd have snatched his hand off.
well, I just look. I've got this bit of paper Graham Coxon wrote on it. A barber got him to write on it for me. It's not a great story.
Yeah, but you could. You didn't have to go into all the details when you're showing it off. You say,
Exactly.
"Oh, I had another note from Coxon."
Yeah. Coxie. Call him Coxie so it sounds authentic. Well, they might think it's Sarah Cox, then you're in trouble.
Oh no, you don't. You don't think that.
I did
But
see on YouTube that you interviewed Graham Coxon.
I did.
I did see. I did Google in a
did
rather
see.
weird
And I did.
fashion.
He did a drawing of me. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe I should have kept that looking back. But if I'd let any more body excrement build up on the actual metal, I'd never have got it off. I was in an Egyptian gift shop. Tatty little gift.
Extraordinary
things, yeah.
beginning to an anecdote.
Yeah. And
I'm just pleased it got past. I was in an Egyptian. But
and I got tipped off, or rather the owner had been tipped off that I was what he was told was a big name TV celebrity in England. I mean, Chinese whispers, obviously. But anyway, he said to me, I wanted to do the voice, but seen as a generic
Yeah,
foreign. He
yeah.
said, you want to buy good stuff. And I thought, what could this
dear.
possibly be?
no, thank you. I'm just after rubbish.
Yeah, I said, if I wanted to buy good stuff, I'd be in this shop. No, and he showed
Or
me.
somewhere else.
He said I have some real Egyptian artifacts taken from pyramids, and I thought that is
Illegal.
well, it's just morally. He had a back room.
Although he's not the first person I know to have said something like that.
No.
That's another story.
He had an enormous sphinx nose.
Oh, dear.
No, that rang a strange bell with me. No, but he did. He had all these little proper stuff. I didn't. I'm thinking of occasions when I poo-pooed memorabilia. I wasn't going to have
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought that was I didn't like it. But I wouldn't worry about the barber. They're very thick-skinned hairdressers, generally speaking. Or is that rhinoceri? Always get those mixed up. Ever since my Land Rover was charged by Nicky Clark in Kenya. What he'd done is he'd gelled his normal shaggy perm into quite a threatening point. And we were alarmed.
Whenever I think of Nicky Clark, all I think of is your ex-girlfriend being upset because you'd broken up and Nicky saying, never mind, have a glass of champagne.
Yeah, 10:30 in the morning. Oh, showbiz.
So, did you see in the news this week?
Did you see with Ludovic Kennedy? Is that still on?
I don't know.
Ludo, as he was. He was known as Ludo to his friends.
The medieval version was Did Ye See? Much better show.
Yeah.
The thing about the two blokes who were emailing each other, you know, when you get a glimpse into another world.
Yeah.
I've never been emailed.
I thought you were going to move on to Akora. That was what I thought the link was. When you get a glimpse into the world of spirits.
No, it was
This parcel is closed now.
That's what he says when he leaves the toilet.
Sorry about that.
You might want to leave this parcel a while.
Sorry about that property I left in the toilet.
Just been in the portal.
Closed.
Give it a few minutes.
Like to ask the angels to clear up a bit in there.
And Jim James, give it about 5 minutes. There you are. Akora post-toilet. I thought I'd give that a heading.
Very good. No, two blokes who were talking about an ex-girlfriend of one of the blokes, and
that
seeing
was horrible.
Yeah, how they talk about that poor girl.
Was it a bit? Was it Keynesian?
Well,
Keynesian.
It was a. Yes.
they'd been exchanging emails about her and then they'd copied her in by mistake, hadn't they? One of them had done that.
Yeah.
But the way in which they were basically saying...
Was it? I mean, lewd things.
Well, they were sort of city boys. They struck me as that kind of boy.
Oh, okay.
But the way they were talking about it was, she is a looker, that girl you used to go out with. Do you mind if I have a crack at her? It was that kind of thing.
She's a looker, to say the least.
Yeah.
I have to say, I mean, I am against that kind of thing generally.
Yes.
But if you... Be honest, Em, if you got an email from
David
a colleague,
Baddiel.
from a colleague, which you were being described as a looker and no mistake, would you be offended by that?
No, but then what he goes on to say about her isn't great.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He also says, to be honest, she is, and then it's blanked out what he says.
Well, that is open to speculation.
He says, I don't dislike many people, but she is one. She massively messed me around. Feel free to pursue. Yes, she is hot.
Pursue spelt wrong, which actually would be a deal breaker for me anyway, so I would never have gone out with him. But
No, so he says that she's like a nightmare, and then says, but have a go anyway. Which is very bad advice.
But I suppose the point is, she was emailed in, and then I think, have they been suspended or something? Because they were talking about her.
Yeah, I think the guy has been, because the email got out, and I guess he was doing it while he was at work.
Oh.
But none of us would want every conversation we have to be made known to the subjects
that
of that
is true.
conversation.
No.
I mean, I think we've all... Do you do this thing that if ever you start to say anything bad about anyone, you check your phone to make
always.
sure it's not?
Do you know what I do?
You have the chances of having phoned them.
I picked this up from my best friend. I do one better. I ring someone so that I know it's going to be a case of the last person I rung. I'll ring a safe person.
Wow.
And
So
say,
it's okay.
I'm just about to slag off.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. Can I just...
Just be grateful it's not you.
The thing is, if I was bomb dialed, I think they call it, someone accidentally called me, and you pick it up and you hear that, all that stuff going on. If I heard them begin to criticise me, and then the phone was switched off,
Yeah.
I'd think even worse then, because I'd assume, they're switching it off so they can criticise me with a bit more gusto.
It's not nice being caught, though.
Oh, I had a terrible... When I used to live with David Baddiel, he had... I won't name names, obviously, but he had a friend, and she called him up, and she was nice, but she was a bit off with me, generally.
Oh.
And she called him up, and he said, OK, and he put the phone down after a bit of chat. So there was a song that I sang about her, which I'd written 3 verses. And I started.
She was off with you. I can't imagine.
No, she hadn't heard it. This was one I'd written as a result of her being off with me, which listed,
Three verses.
various things I didn't like about her, things she'd said, which I'd elaborated on in rhyme.
Was there a bridge?
No, it was three straight.
No chorus?
Oh,
Was there a
actually,
chorus?
no, I think it was just three. It was more of a ballad.
Can we not have a
looking back.
sample of what you sung?
We can't.
Oh, will it be too
I think
incriminating?
they all might be recognisable. But anyway, because he just had a conversation with her, I started singing this in a sort of, I'd say, light operatic tone about her. And then I realised he hadn't put the phone on the receiver, he'd just put it on the table so he could take the rest of the call on the extension.
Oh, no.
So it's one thing to hear people talking about you, but to hear them sing a 3-verse song, which is obviously not just impromptu, but had been crafted. Oh, God, I could never, ever face her again. Every time she came round once, I just stayed in my room and told Dave to pretend that I was out.
Really? Have you seen her ever since?
I've never seen her again.
Oh.
I think me and Dave, I couldn't live with him anymore. I was too embarrassed. Oh, that's harsh.
I've done the email thing. In fact, I've done it with your girlfriend and I were involved. We emailed. She
yes.
CC'd someone by mistake, who's someone lovely that we like, but it was just,
I remember that.
Yeah.
She criticised him heavily, didn't
Yes, yeah, she criticised him very heavily.
she? And then copied it to him.
But then
Yeah.
he sent me an email saying, I think this was meant for you.
Hmm.
To which I replied, why do you automatically assume it was meant for me?
Oh, I see. Well, you'd have been. Wouldn't you have been one of the names on the list, though?
I don't know. But yeah, it was a bad moment.
It just makes me shuddery thinking about it.
I had a very awkward situation. I was at a gig. It's a bit complicated, but one of the acts was an actor in Holby City.
Oh, yeah.
Not one I recognised.
Well, I
but-
wouldn't recognise anyone.
No.
I'm not saying it's a bad programme. It's just not my cup of
Not
tea.
on anymore. But he said that.
Is it still on?
Yeah, it's one of my parents' friends, isn't it? He won Celebrity Mastermind. Carry on.
He said that one of the girls who was working on the show, had turned up on the comedy night, was his stalker.
Oh, okay.
That she had been following him to different charity events.
Oh, just a charity stalker.
Yeah, a charity stalker.
Oh, well, at least it was for a good cause.
I mean, he may have just been bigging himself up talking about his charity work and his stalker, but he was talking
Yeah.
about that, and we were talking to the promoter of the gig, who was this
If there's one thing I like, it's bigging up my stalker.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
as we were all talking about her, she walked into the room. And he went quick, he dealt with it perfectly. He went, so anyway, and I said to the guy...
So anyway, as always, no one's
Yeah.
at all suspicious. If I walk into a room and somebody goes, so anyway, I never think for 1 second they were talking about me.
So he dealt with it, and then...
You should have gone, my stalker, ladies and gentlemen. Inevitably, as it's a charity event.
No, but then after he tried to gloss over it, everyone else just went completely silent.
Oh, see, that's no backup.
And then
No, you've got to just talk madly. That's what I do.
the promoter of the
I
gig...
always say, and that man was Robert Dougal, when they walk into the
No,
room.
I know what you say. You go, oh, we were just talking about you. You style it out. And then, because that's what I do, Frank.
I
They'll
do.
never know. It's
yeah.
inspired. It's genius.
I have been known to come in halfway on a Bermuda Triangle anecdote to throw them.
Very good.
What did this gentleman do then?
So she walked in, everyone went silent, and then the promoter went, oh, this is awkward, isn't it?
Oh!
And then walked out of the room.
That's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, it is now. Just in case it wasn't, let's establish that. I did another one. When I was at school, there was 2 kids in the class who, they were quite scruffy.
Oh,
Scruffy.
bit Bloodwind Pig.
We were all very... we were all poor working class folk. And like all poor working class folk, salt of the earth, we sorted out the very poorest and picked on them for being poorer than us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy come up to me and said, I was looking in the bin in Class E, and I thought, well, that does not surprise me, for a start. He said, I found some drawings that you did of me and Me and Steve as tramps, which I had done, I must remember, quite elaborate, old-fashioned tramps with, like, the top of the hat sort of come loose and the spotted handkerchief on a stick.
That's it, we're a couple of swells.
Yeah,
boring.
like, those kind of, and I'd drawn them with, like, various pointers referring. You see, what it is, I don't... when I get
Sorry to interrupt, but I like that you did a sort of Victorian satire. Most people would yell abuse.
It's not that I talk about people behind their back, it's that I use them as a springboard for my art, generally. Songs, drawings, it's all there.
What you should have said was, right, you never mention that again, and I won't mention that you were going through the bins. That's the deal.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Fair
You need
enough.
a pact of silence.
Fair enough.
Well, I'm all for that.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.